I'm doing fantastic as well. Nisha has been, the list is huge. I saw her profile and I also follow you on Instagram with great following and great work with over 15 years. She's been an artist, she's been an actor, she's been a producer, she's been an entrepreneur, and now she is a living legend on women empowerment, women entrepreneurship, and she also runs an NGO. So Nisha ji, please tell us a little more about yourself and the work that you do.
Right. So I started off, I did my studies in statistics and business.
Lovely.
And I realized that I was not really meant for jobs. I was never interested in the environment of the job. So I was always a very explorative person. So I went on to do a lot of businesses. Literally everything that I saw, I was like, मैं ये करके देखूंगी. Whether it was designing saris, or whether it was shooting in a wedding, or it was anything. It was about waste management. I was so curious. So I think it was inherently built in for me. But eventually, as life had its own plans for me, I have done a bunch of businesses, both here in Bangalore and outside Bangalore in Bombay. And then I eventually had a very strong business in Los Angeles, LA, where I did a PP business and a media and an entertainment business. But I realized through business that my real calling was social reform and social movement. I wanted to impact change at a much larger level. Business allows you the opportunity to affect your own group, your own company, your own set of people. But social reform, when you go through and you realize the challenges that society poses as a whole, being a woman, being an entrepreneur, you want to, I felt like I wanted to be an agent to fuel that movement. So that's how I started my organization called Jyote Jyoteli. Jyote Jyoteli is based out of Bangalore. It's an NGO. And we started this because the experiences that I had through my own journey of business and having a stint in acting and being part of the media entertainment space and being part of the business internationally, where I traveled a lot and I met a lot of people. So I got a feel for the situation and the gaps in the system and realize that women need more representation in leadership, in the top leadership, where they call the shots, where they decide where the buck goes. There's much lesser women, although we speak and scream women empowerment. And that's how Jyote Jyoteli came to be, where our primary work there is to create more positions for women in leadership, in top leadership, where they're part of decision making. So that's what my organization is about.
Brilliant, Nisha, brilliant. I'm sure, women folks watching this episode today would take a lot of lesson, meaning and learnings, of how at any level, be it a housewife, be it a student, be it somebody at the corporate level, be it somebody who's running their own, probably a cloud kitchen, probably somebody who is trying to sell something, maybe pickles at home or whatever it could be, the scale is immaterial. What really matters is, do you have that vision to make a better version of yourself? And this is what Nisha ji is going to be a part of it, and I'm sure each one of you listening to this would definitely take some cues and make your life better. The next guest, of course, is Dr. Kumail Abbas. Kumail ji, we share the same name. It's like
thank you.
It feels good to call my own name with you, right?
Certainly, yes.
Fantastic. So Dr. Kumail is my childhood friend, of course. He's a boxer. He's an entrepreneur. He's a doctorate. The list is not, I'm not able to complete this list. I'm not going to do justice by telling it myself. So I would request you, Dr. Kumail Abbas, to give a quick introduction about yourself so that we get going.
Perfect. So let me start and thank you, Zehra TV and Zehra entire team for inviting me here today. So it's been, and it's since it's a life, it's a first of mine kind of, which is I'm facing a life channel here. So quick brief on my profile. I come from the psychology background. I'm an educationist, and the journey is almost 20 years of being an entrepreneur. And if you see, I run 3 companies. One is Onfyx, which is more into a business community where we call as a solutionist approach to the entrepreneurs. So probably I can give you more deep in moving forward.
Yeah.
Creating Star is an educational holistical support where we help with where we work with institutions, supporting towards growth strategies. And adding on this, we also do online and offline. You name the program, we cater that.
Lovely.
So Creating Star was started in the year of 2018. And boxing, yes, I was passionate. I was a boxer. Been there for almost 12 years. And I also have a boxing federation, which we have launched 2 years back. So the vision of boxing federation is to see that the Indian boxers has to recognize on par better than the Olympics.
Wow.
So that's the vision what we do. So boxing is something where we train and conduct the tournament. So this 20 years of the journey, what you see me here today, it's like, it's all we have, there's a story behind this. So there's a purpose. All three companies has its own purpose of starting it. And if you see that I was a victim in my childhood for learning difficulties. Like
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So
what
I have
happened?
Yes. I was suffering with this, and it so happened even if you see I have a stammering issues, whispering, and the speech disorder challenges. But what you see me today, it's all experience what made me, learning what made me. So in early age, when I was there with not coping towards my academic well and all those things, I remember. So there was a chance where I got an opportunity. So all credit goes to my elder sister who took me, who really find out, that was a challenge with me, because hardly those days, 80s, 90s, people never, the family members, hardly they find out the challenges what individual child is facing out. So that was again turning point. And in early age, when I was in college, I started my first company, which was more into construction. So that was around 2003, where I started with my two friends. They are my classmates. And what I have realized, we were working in a construction industry and trying to work. But again, what I have realized, we stopped, somewhere after 2.5 years. But the main output was something which, if you don't have a clarity, or there's no directions, and there's no purpose of what are you doing, just try to make money. So there is chance. There's a lot of way where you stop somewhere. So the journey of Onfyx was not only to ensure that the support system, which what I'm trying to give to the entrepreneurs, it's all because of my every step of the failures of my ventures. So if you see, one was this. Again, I was there with my father for almost 7 to 8 years. So there I have understood the system of education, how it works. So my father is an educationist. He ran an institution. He was running an institution. So there I've learned a lot of system, how education works, and I can say that proudly that it took me into the education industry. So if you see, I got one more opportunity in 2010. So I took one of the institutions to promote in Malaysia for international getting admissions. That's an animation college. So there I come across meeting one of the gentlemen who comes from the psychology background. So he approached me and says, why don't they have a fingerprint analysis test, which called as a DMIT, from where you can able to analyze your inborn talent.
Correct.
So he was trying to approach me to do this, and I was ignoring why I need to know about myself. So it took almost, he was trying to convince me for almost 3 months, and so happened he came down to Bangalore. And good thing what he said is, see, this is not going to underestimate or it's not going to judge you, but in other hand, it's going to say, where are you the best?
Wow.
So that was thing, and moreover, he added that, see, usually we charge huge money for this, but I'm going to do free of cost. I took as an opportunity. I was quite surprised when I saw the fingerprints test, which was talking about 45 pages of report. And
that's on your personality development?
Exactly. It tells about like who you are.
Wow.
So hardly people never know who we are and try to fit with, all with your qualification, experience, background and all.
So how did it actually help you? What I mean to say is
Okay.
that the fingerprint analysis, understanding your personality, your behavior, I'm
Okay.
sure we would get a little more in detail,
Certainly.
as we proceed in this,
Certainly, certainly.
conversation and the podcast. I'm sure our guests, our viewers across the world are eager to learn how, I'm sure starting up a business is everybody's dream, because the fundamental way of earning money is either you are employed or you
Exactly.
are an employer. Either
Exactly.
you provide opportunity for people to start earning with your services, your product and your skills, or you have your own skills that you offer to a company where the company pays you a remuneration and so on and so forth. So we will definitely come back to you on that, Dr. Kumail Abbas. We have another amazing entrepreneur. We have grown up together in our childhood days. We have seen each other work, uh, be a part of events during our college days, right outside Forum Mall for about 150 rupees, 200 rupees. We would say we would be right up there doing events, and that's how I remember, Rahil, on our journey of how we have had you to be part of our guest. So Rahil is an entrepreneur. I would like to know from you, Rahil, what exactly do you do so that the audience are eager to ask you questions in the end of the session?
Thank you so much. Thanks, Zehra Trust and TV to put this fantastic program together. So I'm from this small town called Holenarsipura, where there are a lot of Shia Muslims living there. Started my schooling. So there is this saying called to raise a child you need an entire village. I think I'm that child.
Nice.
Where a lot of people contributed to what I have become today. Whether it is my grandmother, my uncles, where I lived all my life, all my childhood, my parents. So I come from a typical. I'm sure there are millions of people like me, but I just feel very lucky that I was able to use these opportunities and build what I have so far. So I come from a government school. Then I suddenly see myself in Christ College, doing my +1, +2, and for me it was a culture shock, a lot of confidence going down. I'm otherwise generally a performer, always been participating in debates and events, and I had my own band in my school and in my engineering college, so I can sing well. So there was this whole curiosity behind the stage. Also maybe because when I finished my engineering, there was a recession time, 2028, 2029. So there were no engineering jobs per se. Yeah. So then I started working for Akshay Patra Foundation for about a year and a half. So I think I was the first Muslim boy to join ISKCON as an employee.
Very nice.
This is an interesting work experience.
And there, one of my primary job was to get all these donors and international students and international travelers to show them how the kitchen works. And as part of showing them how kitchen works, I also had to show them the process of ISKCON temple. I mean, how do you start? Where do you go? What happens behind the aarti? So I had all that knowledge, I think, out of a lot of curiosity. So I spent about a year and a half there. Then I did my event management course. I think there were very few institutes then where you get certified for doing events. There were very few, right, where they teach you the safety behind it, the thought process behind why do you put an event together. If you see, event has been one of the oldest format. Films and podcast and short films and animations, reels. This is today, but otherwise, events has always been one of the oldest form of bringing people together. So that is something that got me curious. Then I worked for a couple of large event management companies, and in 2017, I decided that I should probably get into entrepreneurship. Start my own event company. It's been 8 years, so we have seen pretty much everything in the last 8 years, from COVID to diversifying in different avenues. But yeah, I think it's been a great journey. 8 years. We've managed to put together an award-winning experiential marketing company with offices across Bangalore, Delhi, and Bombay.
Nice.
That's my story, coming from a small town.
Very nice.
And just probably enjoying the flow. Also enjoyed that, somebody always there to support me financially, emotionally, mentally. um, without really worrying about ego or taking help from people. I just felt that maybe they are showing a lot of interest and they believe in what I can do. So I think I'm the result of, like I said, the entire village which has raised me
Fantastic.
and made me what I am today.
Amazing, Rahil. So if you actually notice, guys, that all the dignitaries out here are not only entrepreneurs, but they're also educated entrepreneurs. What I mean to say is, they have actually tried their hands in upskilling themselves, tried their hands in working first, tried their hands in multiple areas before they could choose
Right.
the real calling. Am I right,
Yeah,
Nisha,
yeah.
on this? Right.
Yeah.
So you were telling about how you have actually felt that women need that voice. Yeah, and that's the motive that you left the mainstream business part of it, and you
Yeah.
came into uplifting.
Yeah.
Empowering is probably a very generally used term, but then I think there is a stronger reason behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, Nisha ji, please tell us about how easy is it or how difficult it is for women to jump into entrepreneurship, and what is your message?
So for women, right, there are two issues that they face. One is the society, because of the biases, the way they see women, the expectations of a woman, the responsibilities of a woman, be it at home, as an individual, as a family person. So there's a bunch of expectations that a woman is always burdened with, or she has to shoulder. And there's another part, which is the system. How much does the system support a woman?
Ji.
And I think on both the ends, I think women have it harder.
Okay.
Because in terms of responsibilities all through when you're growing up, and the whole setup is such that you do have a lot of responsibilities. At home, there are a lot of responsibilities. You need to look at the house, ghar dekhna hai, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, is a whole list, right? And expectations from a women are like, thoda aram se chalo, patiently raho. So there's all these kind of connotations which are like, they do subdue the fire within you, the impulse to contribute. That's on one side, which is the domestic side of things. But on the system side of things, the system also is designed. It was designed at a certain time when it was mostly men working in the industries, in the society, and that system has not changed. Education was brought into women, and women got educated. They studied, they flourished in studies, they became aware of things. But when they came out and they started working, the system remained old. It still remains patriarchal. That the positions still remain mostly for men. It is not that women don't have the merit, but the system hasn't upgraded. So on one side, although we have become very modern, very futuristic, there's a lot of conversation about women empowerment, and women are equal, and feminism, and I think they're very loosely used words and have lost their meaning in some sense. But if you really look at the life of a woman, it is a very difficult balance. In a business, when you get out, you're already shouldering all these responsibilities, and internally as a woman, you do carry a lot of guilt and burden. Am I doing enough for my family? Am I doing enough for my... And then you also, you don't even think that as a human being when you're born, are you using your potential to do something for the community, for the country, for the society? So it gets a little mixed up. It takes a little while to understand the balance that as a woman you also have to create a peace within yourself where you feel like you've done enough good at home, and then you go out and you fight the system because the system is still not upgraded to your capacity. So it is hard, way harder. The battles that a woman fights to accomplish any place, it's probably 1,000 times harder than it is for a man. And it is nobody's fault. It was a fault of the system. And I think a lot of effort being made to change, but I don't think so the effort is authentic. It's being made to show, but it's really not being shattered and broken. So it's going to take a little time, but I think the new generations, they will fight for their place. There will be a turn of things, is my belief.
I'm sure, I validate that point of
Yeah.
yours. It also, correct me if I'm right or wrong out here, it's a society that we live in, is what you mentioned. Coming from, a place like number city Bengaluru,
Yeah.
right? There is a different persona of how women are seeing in a rural part.
Yeah.
A different persona when women are seeing in a particular sect or a religion
Yeah.
or a societal background.
Yeah.
Since you have worked globally, you have studied in America, you have worked in Malaysia, Singapore, you have been an internationally, acclaimed, a personality as such. Is it the same mindset across the world?
It can't be, right? Because mindset is formed by a mix of many things. So, a girl who is from Bangalore is not the same as a girl who's from Delhi. A girl who's from Delhi is not the same as a girl who is from, outside Bangalore, maybe North Karnataka. So, and a girl who's from here is obviously not the same as a girl out in LA or New York. So, the mindset is very different everywhere. But I think inherently it does remain that the way women are built and the way the society is built for women, I think that somewhere is a pretty a common line.
Fantastic. I think this is a valid point, Nisha ji. Kumail bhai, please tell
Yeah.
us, when you network with people, I
Okay.
see you get people from different walks of life together. Even Rahil, when he is into the events, when he is into business, I'm sure there are women who play an equal role or probably higher the role. But for a man, it is like his perceived responsibilities के आपको बाहर अगर काम करना है, you are the breadwinner, go and get the money for the house, and that's then the responsibility of a woman is transferred there. But for a woman, even if she is working outside, even if she is trying to make a mark in her respective field, she is also obliged to come back home and also manage the responsibilities of the house as well. So from your perspective that you have been from the psychological aspect and the business aspect, throw us some light on this aspect. Kumail.
See, very valid point when I was talking more on the women's. See, business is not identified with men's or women's. It's a common to all. And when you see how best women are, they are good at administration. When they can balance the house, why not the business? And they are doing good. So we have to give equal rights. That is which is more important. And they are doing the best. Only thing is we have to encourage, we have to appreciate them.
Yeah,
There's a wonder they can do it.
fantastic.
Only thing is the support. The society has to accept that every woman has the rights to come out and do the best. They have to prove out, and they will do that. I mean, they are doing it. So when I see in my networking, majority females, they come with so struggle with a mindset, and they have a so larger scale of dreams. And in other hand, they also feel like the moral support, let it be with the family or society and all, they lack with that. So if you try to give that in a different way,
Yeah.
they are the best. So we have to treat them as equal as we are doing it.
Valid point. So I think Rahil bhai, we would want you to give in your inputs on
The women working at
working
businesses
or
generally?
or even starting up.
Okay,
starting
so
up your
I'll
business.
talk maybe relevant to what I do. So in our industry, it is rated as one of the most stressful industries in the world. It tops with medical, army, and I think we are third or fourth most.
Agree.
Very very stressful jobs. But on the other hand, I have a chief client partner who also happens to be my wife. She's working with Tessarakt, and I remember even till her 8 months, she was on the ground doing events. And you actually achieve that standard of equality and giving opportunities regardless of what gender that they are, is when as an organization you set certain values in the system, right? And then maybe I was fortunate enough when I was before I started my own business, when I was handling a team of event managers, for my luck, they were all women. So I had somebody who had just passed out of college, figuring out from a different city where to stay. Her challenges are very different. And then I have somebody who just gotten married, trying to adjust in another family. Her issues are very different. And then I have somebody who's a mother, right? And then also fortunate that my upbringing again happened in between many women. So I was raised by my grandmother, and then I had two mummies in the house, and one of the mummies had four daughters. So I had so many women around me. So any important decision that is taken in my life, including which college I should go to, that was a dream that my mother lived,
Nice.
right? So, and then my wife, again, a very strong girl with her own qualifications and leadership qualities, where she leads a team which does about 50 cr of business the entire year. So maybe it is already changing.
Yeah.
To your input, I think it's already changing. It is definitely in the hands of entrepreneurs when they design the fabric of their company, right? So who are you expecting to take your vision forward, and where do you see women playing a role there, right? Because in our business, night setups, early morning flights, no weekends, no holidays. I don't remember when was the last time I have taken a weekend off. I've not. I mean, it's very difficult for us to plan our holidays. But I think somewhere it is a system that you bring, the values that you have. So my HR is again a woman. Her entire team is women. So maybe I think, like Kumail bhai said, they are far better with efficiency and trust. I'm not saying that men are not, but I think by design, there's a very nurturing, approach that they bring to the business.
True.
Especially when you're a entrepreneur and starting something from the scratch, it's really important that you have more women in the team, because they know how much to spend. They are very hardworking,
Yeah.
and I think there's that empathy you don't need to bring artificially. It's already there in them.
Inbuilt.
Yeah, so I think I'm all gun blazing when it comes to women leading businesses. In fact, the next set of businesses that we are building, most of them is being led by women. Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. So this is a great lesson for each one of you watching this live. You've got validation from somebody who's been there, done that. Somebody who are living their life, not just talking from their heart and mind, but from their experiences as well, right? So this actually gives us that valid authentication that this is the time for us to start something. Like Rahil said, like Nisha ma'am said, and of course Dr. Kumail Abbas, each one of us are validating and vouching that, be it a man or a woman, if you have the vision, your capabilities, go ahead and prove it, and then you have all the success in your stride as the time comes. The challenges are there. Each one of us are bound with challenges. What's the purpose of life if it is so easy, if there's no challenge, right? So
Yeah.
challenges will actually make you a stronger person, makes you a better version of yourself.
True.
Coming back to a very important aspect, this question of course is for all three of you, but I would like to start with Rahil. You have worked, Rahil, you have worked on the ground level of events. From a salaried mindset to get into a role of an entrepreneur, how easy was it for you, or how challenging was it for you?
All right. See, there is no method, to be very honest. Entrepreneurial mindset. I mean, it's a fancy French word. It means somebody who executes the job,
Yeah.
or somebody who owns the job.
Right.
So, in simple words, it is somebody who is doing the job that he owns, and whether you do it for somebody else or whether you do it for your own company. So I think that is what it's a self-reflection, right? And then building a company or joining a company or becoming a CEO, these are the byproducts. And I believe that my journey of entrepreneurship started in my hometown. My mama runs a floor mill business. So weekends, in the evening, I am going there managing P&L, managing operations, customer service, having understanding of what's happening in our town, who else has floor mills faster than us.
Yeah.
So all these things were something that probably I started picking up in my childhood. And again, it's not my business; it's somebody else's. But that whole mindset of whether you're working for somebody or you're doing your own business, but so I define entrepreneurship in 4 boxes: execution, then comes innovation, then comes integrity, and then finally comes the empathy, right?
Wow.
So again, execution. For me to start Tessarakt, I didn't really have to be part of too many networking clubs because my work already had created enough customers to come back to me and give me repeat business. So I still work with few brands from last 13 years who moved along with me from my previous company.
Nice.
So that means, if you do your execution really well with lot of quality, trust, then I think you automatically will check that box of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And on innovation, everything is imagination, right? I mean, only when a next generation imagine better from the previous generation, only then new things happens. Whether look at this podcast started as a webinar, now we are exploring a very different format, and that happens because somebody is imagining. Then I talk about integrity. Integrity is basic.
True.
Whether it is within your own family, whether it is your own team, whether it is your friend circle, it is so important. Without that, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
When something needs to reach on time, it should reach on time. If there's somebody trusted you, you have to follow the laws of the country or the city where you're doing your business. And then comes empathy. Empathy is basically, again, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, makes you a full rounded person. I mean, and so people go through so much in their home, when they are in your office. Maybe you give them a third space, right, where they feel safer, they feel belonged, right? So I'm just mixing these formulas and I'm just having a ball, I would say.
Nice.
Sometimes add more empathy, sometimes add more. So I would say these 4 things, if you do well, I'm sure you can be a great entrepreneur.
Amazing. With the profile, like how Rahil mentioned about his philosophy of doing business, it says his philosophy, if I have to read it on your behalf, it says, build with love, lead with respect, and deliver with excellence.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the motto, or that's probably the foundation principle that Rahil lives with. And these are the philosophies that each one of us can actually imbibe, because everything around it has a formula. Yeah, even if you want to make chai at home, 5 members, you give them the same chai patti, same milk, same water, same sugar, ingredients are the same, but the outcome is different. You know why? Because there is a formula to get the right recipe out, and of course, that is how we are trying to learn from each other as to what the right recipe of business is. So, Rahil, since you mentioned the philosophies of life, and your guiding principle towards how your mom, your sisters, your wife, and each one of them have been a role model, or probably the driving force of you running a business. What is the most memorable experience that you have had so far?
See, memorable experience, I would say during pandemic. I mean, there are a lot of memories. I collect them. That's all I have, honestly. During pandemic, we were the first one to shut and the last one to open again. As an industry, events were shut first. We had nothing to do. So I just out of somewhere, my baby was just born at that time during first COVID. I came up with this IP called Lockdown Summit, just because we were in a lockdown. So the idea was, how do we really do events now? Because events are shut. What do we do? And then there were webinars, there were Cisco systems in place before, but it was not really familiar to many people.
Right.
And corporates wanted to do events, they wanted to connect with their employees. So doing that Lockdown Summit, where bringing the entire event ecosystem just on a event management platform to do virtual event, and eventually from there for the entire year we ended up doing an event with Honorable Prime Minister
Wow.
called Startup India International Summit, and that
Okay.
was a virtual event with some 2 lakh virtual attendees attending the event. You know, we had Priyanka Chopra, we had the CEO of Cisco. Globally, people were attending that event. So the experiment of what can we do during pandemic when we have no physical events, to actually getting an opportunity to work with the central government was for me a most memorable moment of resilience, I would say.
Wow.
A lot of people had shut shop.
Yeah.
They were waiting for physical events to come back. On the other hand, Tessarakt was thriving. That way, when we bounced back after virtual events started tapering out, it did not take too much time for us to grow faster than some of the other agencies, because we already had systems in place. We didn't fire people, not so many as what I saw in the industry. So that was very memorable. Every time I see that this is a dead end, I think of that lockdown, and then I think everything else looks achievable
Yeah.
after that. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
wow.
a great comeback. Yeah.
Nisha ji, you have to also, throw us some light on this.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
your best experience. I'm sure each one of us have faced lockdowns. Probably people losing their loved ones, shutting their businesses, shutting shop. Incurring losses. It would have been disaster for many of them.
Yeah.
But how you bounce back? Like the boxer sitting right here. No matter how many punches you get in, the Rocky Balboa stuff, it doesn't matter as to how hard your life hits, but how hard you come back.
Yeah.
That's more important.
Bounce back.
So Nisha ji, you give us, some insights about your memorable experience, your comeback stories.
Yeah, I think it takes it takes one to be a boxer to be in entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
really, because you do get thrown a lot of punches. You do get smacked in your face. You do get put down to the floor, and it does test you. It is really about there's a beautiful thing that I heard the Federer speak about tennis. He says, the winners, how high their average score is. He says it's just 40%. He says,
Wow.
it's not about how many points you score. He says it's how quickly you recover from the losing score.
Wow.
Like if you lost this round, it's how quickly you recover and how you play the next round that makes you a winner. If you have a backlog in your mind and you have the baggage of losing a point and you carry it to the next round, right? That baggage makes you lose another point. So I think entrepreneurship is about very quick recovery. Like I agree with what Rahil said, and I was aware of the event that you guys did, and I think it was very well known at that point, and it was a new hope in terms of how events can be done. And I think it is a very tough spot because nobody likes uncertainty, but uncertainty gives you, it can make your mind run wild. It gives you an opportunity to imagine.
Wow.
And then if you can trust yourself, I do believe that, and we will talk about this more in due course, but in entrepreneurship, self-doubt is the biggest obstacle. You don't believe your imagination, you don't believe it's possible. And somewhere I feel that in the Indian system, and maybe even across the globe, people have ideas, but they don't really fuel them. They feel like your idea hai, can I do it? And can I do it or maybe not? And then it stops. I think that is where my experience and I've learned that it's about being able to fuel your idea. You have to obviously calculate and think through it, but it's being able to believe in yourself, overcome the self-doubt. For me, I think I've had so many memorable experiences. But the biggest one for me would be during COVID as well, because I had a media and entertainment business in LA, and that was with two of my other partners who have been in business there before, and they ran a proper media business there. And we wanted to produce films, and we were doing comedy shows across the states, and we were supposed to go into a tour which got called off right before the COVID, because it's again, like you said, it's events, and you couldn't have crowds coming together.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in the house, and we were like, ab kya kare? Like now what? And we had a small medical business, which we used to export some secondary medical equipment. And we did get an opportunity to get into the PPE business. And somewhere you feel like, opportunities do come, but do you jump and you go for it? And we did, because we wanted to do something with that time. And I think thankfully for us, it worked out wonderfully. One of the biggest businesses that I built. So it was it did make you realize like people didn't work through COVID. I think we worked the most because PPE, personal protective equipment, was the need of the hour that time. So memorable in the sense that you do realize that matlab, in every situation there are possibilities, and it's not true for everybody because it's what comes to you. But I think for me it was a very good turn of events, I would say.
Amazing, Nisha ji. Kumail bhai,
Yeah.
what has your memorable experience been like?
Okay, when you talk about the pandemic, okay,
Anything. I
okay,
mean, pandemic could be because pandemic is so recent,
recent,
but
yes,
it is already 5 years old.
certainly.
You know, that's how fast the time has actually
Yeah.
flown away from all of us. But we are still. I mean, since I know it's a general human psychological factor, right? Boss, why are you like this? Oh, you know what? Pandemic में ऐसा हो गया था, and because of which I'm like this today. But it's 5 years. You know, 5 years is a long time. So how have you covered up? How have you woken up? How have you, got that comeback? So what has been your experience?
See, what I can add you here is, see, a lot of people, they evaluate failures as a shutdown something, but I always say failures is an opportunity for me. I have seen a lot of failures. So 20 years when I'm doing a business, and I took every failures as an opportunity, as challenge. Why? Because when you stop learning, you'll stop growing. So learning through experience is something which is more important. So in this, my most memorable thing, what you can say is, since we were talking about boxing and all those things, boxing has taught me a lot. Why? Because every moment, the fraction of seconds, you get a punch, or you need to know where to punch, how to block yourself, where to go for the knockout. So this was a good way of taking your decision ability. You should know how to take your decisions. So that were impacting me a lot. Decisions plays major role, and how emotionally you have to be there. So boxing is not only a game which today people think it's a violent game and all, but let me tell you, it's a most disciplinary movement. And why? Because your level of agility, your confidence level. See, whatever I'm talking today, when I have a problem of difficulties, learning difficulties, speech disorder issues and all, and today I'm just talking because all I have come across with the sports. So what sports should be there. But what you see me just because I've been stopped boxing, so I have increased my weight. But I was not like this before.
There's always a comeback.
Yes, so I've been promised because I have to change myself. Health is more important. So in my almost, I have taken every 2 years I used to have one ventures, and all in the partnerships. Somewhere we do, But again, the challenge is mindsets. Like how you were adding a point. What is the difference between employee and entrepreneurship? So it's a mindset. So one have fixed mindset, other has a growing mindset. So growing mindset, every individual wants to grow, but how? That's the question mark always. In this duration, what I have seen across is every dot of my failure has given me a very good lesson to work on it. And that's where we stand. What you say today, Onfyx, probably I'll give you more tip on this. So we try, every entrepreneurship should not repeat this. So that's where we put a trigger and says that we are there for you. And we are, I can probably say this, we are the one organization, say that we are 100% assuring you that you are not going to fail. Subject, you have to be with us. One step from your side, post mind, see why you'll fail. The part of journey, obviously financial issues, challenges always live there. Don't give up. The word give up also should know where to give up.
Wow.
People say, I'm not going to give up. Give up not just a way you keep on burning yourself, but where to give and how to rebounce, restart. You can restart. So there is a support system. We cannot say that all I have done alone and I'm here today. No, every dot has an opportunity. If you see from my childhood, my sister, today I'm there with because of my best friend, my cousin, who has helped me 20 years, but without any expectations. When he helped me out without an expectation when I was zero. So that's motivated me. When COVID started, I had a vision like to community, creating a networking community. A lot of people says, do networking, why so important? I'm getting business without networking, but they don't understand. Indirectly, they're doing networking also. What is the benefit of doing networking into the community is you have a support. People can evaluate you, guide you, hold you. So there's a lot of way for that. So that's where it has been inspired me, a person who can support me without any intention or without any expectation, why not I give back? So that's where I feel like, we have to take as a very positive notes and reach to any individual where you find challenge. Don't stop, don't have a judgmental that, why he will support me. And a lot of people says there's no support system in market. There is support system. Surrender yourself. They are the people who will really help you out.
Amazing. You mentioned very, very rightly that networking should also be purposeful.
Exactly.
Yeah, each one of us are networking. It's like probably I've got about 5,000 odd contacts on LinkedIn, right? But that's only my contacts.
Virtual.
It's way different from real network.
Yes.
Right? Having contacts on your phone and WhatsApp and LinkedIn
Doesn't
and
matter.
social media, your followers are great, feel good factor, I feel. But what is the real definition of a network?
See, when you say networking has a 5 various levels, See, one is you should have a clarity of why are you connecting.
Lovely.
And you should be very genuine. Don't have a sugar-coating talk. You go with you give us such a way of your presentation, and later on they come to know your reality. See, if anyone wants to judge me in education, they can judge me in 1 hour. Why should I come with a sugar-coating discussions and all this branding and all? So what I'm telling you is the reality should be there, and when you're trying to network, be real. And purpose has to be defined. Without any purpose, your networking is purely invalid. So clarity works major role. And second, visibility. So what you see today, visibility is available. You need to be available in network. A lot of people, they just come and probably after 1 month, 2 months, when we say, if you are out of mind, out of sight. So there's definitions, right? So visibility plays major role. And what are you adding value to your network? Value added. See, stop selling. See, we always, you should not sell to a network. Through network, we have to build a, selling concept. But again, the selling should not be as, because we connect people. People is what is that's a model for us. Every individual is business for us. Every person is a business for us. So visibility plays major role. Value added plays major role. In other hand, relationship building, through relationship, which is, you can say, on a follow-up. If you don't follow your relationship with any aspect. But a lot of people, what they do, in the follow-up, they follow up on the sales. You told me something to buy, you're not buying it. When are you trying to reach me? I'm looking forward. That's not your follow-up, right? That's not your network. So network is asset. Utilize as asset. If you see that, okay, something, see, at present situation, it has been such a difficult challenge. Every entrepreneur is, they are struggling with the survivals. And they meet morning and evening, they expect something revenue should come out with the network. How it is practical? So patience plays major role. You need to build that relationship. Trust. If anyone is opening a contact to you, in what basis? And today what I feel is all invalid referrals are out. Oh, you go and meet him, you go and connect him and all. But that's not referral. It's just trying to bridge that connect. But actual referral will come when I trust you. For example, I have something and which you deserve it, I definitely endorse you. I can say, yes, Kumail Kirmani deserve this. Please take him and he can give you the 100% result. So that way you have to build that. And consistency should be there. In my networking, we do online, offline. So we started with 1 monthly, and now we are doing 12 meetings in a month. And yearly, we cross nearly about more than 135, 136 meetings, online, offline, coffee meets, a lot of things. But not even one meeting from last 5.5 years, we have skipped. Subject, let it be 1 person or 2 persons also, we used to run a meeting. We never says, okay, we have a less crowd today, let's pack up, let's see for the next. No.
Show must go on.
Exactly. Till
That's
today, in that, boxing, that's how it is, yes.
Yeah.
So networking plays major role. You should know what real networking works. It's not just collecting cards and exchanging the cards and keeping that I know this guy. That is all invalid subject if they know you well. So this is how you have to build yourself.
Brilliant.
That's where Onfyx add value.
Brilliant, Kumail bhai. So all those people who are looking to understand how business is to be done the right way, how do you connect with the right people? And Onfyx is right here in front of you. Reach out to Dr. Kumail Abbas. He will guide you across and help you hold your hand. You just take that first step, and the remaining 4 steps is his promise. Yeah, he's right here. So connect with him. very, very approachable, very, very down to earth, and he is here, and that commitment is so important. And I believe, I mean, as a marketing professor myself, right, it's a very crystal clear, right on our dashboards clear. Everybody wants to buy,
Correct.
but nobody likes to be sold.
Correct.
You get my point?
Exactly.
Nobody, I mean, even if you want to buy that umbrella or a washing machine or a phone, nobody wants that person to come to your door and say, boss, phone chahiye tha na, le lo. वो बोलेगा नहीं लूँगा यार. I mean, I'm not interested to buy. If I want to buy, when I want to buy, I will buy.
Yeah.
You get my point? So that's the, simple philosophy of how business can happen. Business happens through trust. Yeah, clarity of thoughts. And Rahil was mentioning about how important it is for him to get that trust with his clients who came back to him again and again and again.
Exactly.
So if you are truthful in your commitments, if you deliver value to your audience, and if you are clear and reliable, responsible, I think business will automatically come in. So these are core principles. Rahil also mentioned about how execution is so important, how innovation, integrity and empathy is important. And you mentioned about how it is important for you to be trustworthy, how important it is for you to be easy to pivot when the right opportunity knocks at your door. And thank you so much, with your insights of how amazing you can create networking. And you've given a very crystal clear example of networking is not about exchanging cards or numbers or WhatsApp pe main aapko ping kar dunga. It's about beyond that. Yeah, and be there when the person actually needs your work. Right? So it's an interesting part. And coming to you, Nisha ji, it's a very, I would like you to read between the lines and answer this question, right? So you come from a privileged family, yeah, backed by political influence. So how do you think this has actually helped you carve your own story in the market?
It's a very interesting space because I do have a background in politics. My family is in politics. So there are like so many facets to this. Usually the perception is that if you have a very big background, be it politics or be it a business family or anything, it does play a part in your life and how you shape things from there. And I think being in a place of privilege or having more resources in any sense does add. But I think what really adds is, there's a very beautiful, I think it is a very old idiom or something that one of these saints wrote in Hindi. Soot kuput to kyu dana sache? No, it's put kuput to sache ya put suput to kyu dana sache. The meaning of this is, if there is a rich man, and he has a kid, if the kid is not inherently a good kid, then no matter how wealthy his family is, he's not going to do anything with your money. He's going to put it all to waste. And if he's inherently a kid who deserves it, doesn't need the money, he'll build it himself. So it's very beautifully put, because no matter what background you have, like for example, if I take Rahil or Mr. Kumail's examples here, I think they also come from very different backgrounds. He comes from a very smaller town, and Kumail comes from a very different background. But if you have to succeed, you still have to build a very strong personality. You have to build a core. Doesn't matter. I think your surroundings do give you the privilege to learn from. So I think being part of political system, you sort of understand the system better. But to per se say that does it really add value to you, that's up to you how much you can tap in. And how much you can tap in depends on how your strength is. If you don't have the capacity to, then you can't tap in. So it is totally, I think, every situation creates a product. We are all products of our situations, right? And like for him, like he said, I learned from my family, from the women in my family, and he's very comfortable. If you look at him, I know he feels very comfortable around, all kinds of crowds, and that's what happens when you grow up in a circumstance like this. And when you look at him, you think that, okay, he went through a lot of difficulties as a child, and how he brought that into his business. And he tapped into that, what I suffered, I should create that platform for those who have a similar pain. So everyone, I think the struggles they go through or the resources they get, unless you build your core, unless you build you as a person, you can't tap into what is available to you. You can have all the rosy garden, but you see today in the world how many billionaires or how many politicians, kids, or kids of very big film actors, unless they prove themselves, they can't really make it. You have to. You might be given the first option to get in the door, but to really stand on the stage and command respect, you have to put in the work. It has to show, that you're deserving of it. So yes, to answer it in one line, I think it has given me a lot of privileges, and I do want to pass that the privileges I've got from it. I do want to use that, and I want to use that in a way that I can contribute better to the system, to the society.
Brilliant. I think each one of us, right? So they say that even Shah Rukh Khan ka beta Shah Rukh Khan nahi ban
Nahi
sakta.
ban
He has to carve his own. Of course, the support is there. Sachin ka beta, he cannot replace or replicate even what Sachin has achieved, right? Likewise, Rahil, you have carved your own journey. You have carved your own path. Where do you think, if somebody wants to start the entrepreneurial journey, yeah, it's easy for somebody to go and say that YouTube pe search kar lo, how do you become an entrepreneur, right? And how do you start a business? So YouTube is probably the ocean of information and knowledge from all kinds of people. Which channel do you choose and which person do you learn from is all in your hands there, right? So here is a live lesson about entrepreneurship, of how you can network and how you can better yourself. So Rahil, you tell us, if somebody has to start their entrepreneurial journey, what could be those 5, 3, 4 lessons that you would like to recommend to our audience?
Okay. So I don't know. I don't have a sequence there. Honestly, in the last 5 years, you will see that there's a rise of courses around entrepreneurship. There were no courses before, right? And I also remember Kumail talking about how people don't have patience. They invest money in the morning. They want returns in the evening.
Yeah.
So, see, starting a business and starting a startup itself are very two different concepts. Startups generally don't make money in the beginning. So you really need to have patience. You really need to have the vision and till where you're going to try. Again, like Kumail said, you need to know when to stop, when to start. So it's very difficult to put something in just 5 steps. But I would say what you enjoy doing. This is again a Japanese concept called ikigai, where you pick what you enjoy doing and you see if there is a market which is willing to pay for it. That's it.
Yeah.
These are the 2 things that you need to know. And if you can do better than what others are doing, there is no problem in replicating what has worked in other markets. Like Flipkart is what Amazon was, Ola is what Uber was. So I think it is just about whether you enjoy doing what you are doing and is somebody willing to pay for it. These are the 2 things. And then there is another, we are talking about traits. If we have to cover traits, then you have to get things done.
Yeah.
You have to get things done. There's no choice. You have to wake up in the morning. You still have to do it, whether you like it or not. You had a bad day at home. You still have to do it. I think that persistence to continue doing, because you can't hang your boots whenever you want to. You can. It's a free world. But then as an entrepreneur, there are people who are backing your vision. They are working on your dream.
Yeah.
So I think I would say, when you know that you know something that you're really good at doing and you enjoy doing it, and then there is somebody willing to pay for it, then I guess there are millions of businesses that you can get into.
Yeah. True.
I think, I've read the book, of how Ikigai is trying to shape, or understand the purpose of everyone's life. And you rightly said that, please understand what you're good at and what the world is willing to pay for.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're able to get that sweet spot of what you can offer and what the person or what the market or what the customer is willing to pay for, I think that's the start of your business activity,
Yeah.
right?
Just I want to add there. There are a couple of concepts, right? I mean, during COVID, I had some time and I felt that I didn't do justice to my education. So I did an executive MBA from from IIM Kozhikode. And the purpose of doing that was, I maybe felt that the post-COVID era is going to be very competitive, very hyper, and you need some right frameworks and proper knowledge to run the company to where it is today, right? So there I learned two very key concepts called micro thinking and macro thinking,
Wow.
right? So macro thinking is so important. I mean, imagine the kind of media that we have today, the amount of social media rut that is all over the place, and you're just reacting to what is coming to you without really having on what's your macro environment.
Right.
Who you are as an Indian citizen, or whether you're a Hindu or a Muslim, but where do you stand in this world? What kind of markets that are available for you, right? Where your government is supporting you, what kind of businesses are probably going to happen in this country, the trends. So a lot of people think that, okay, I have a bakery shop, I just need to know how my bread is tasting, right? Whether it's that's micro. But you also need to know whether how many bakeries are there in that area, what kind of bread is important in that place, what kind of demographies, are there more North Indians there who like probably naan, not your regular bread. So it's a combination. So I think a lot of people might not fail if they have clear understanding of macros. Don't get emotional. I think if you want to be an entrepreneur, yes, you can be a practicing Muslim, you have certain ideologies about your political views, but you got to be extremely neutral because you're running an entity. You're supporting an entity which has no religion, no political preference, right? So when you're running these, very neutral entities, understanding of macro is micro is very, very important, right? So you run a home kitchen called Hyderabadi
Begums, yeah.
Begums, right? So you know your micros. That okay, I am gonna have the best nali nihari available in the city, right? So that's your micros. But having the understanding of how many people are looking for something like this. So a lot of people fail because they think they have a product which somebody is waiting to buy, right? And macro is so important, I'm telling you, because I keep seeing it without having any clue. People are supporting causes which are not of your country, which has nothing to do with who you are, right? And that could impact maybe. There is somebody who's your client who just saw what you shared on your WhatsApp, right? Because that's the least that they'll have access to your social life, even if you block them on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And if they see you doing certain things which is not in the context of what your country today stands for, right? Then you're losing that client. That client is not coming and talking to you because they get a feeler that you're not matured.
Yeah.
So I think, and also it depends on the size of enterprise that you start, because when I started, I was already exposed to larger event companies. So I didn't want to start a shadi wala because a lot of people also questioned me about engineering karne ke baad you're doing this stage dal raha hai for others to come and talk. Maybe I didn't want to really sit and tell them what my exact vision is, but depending on the size of enterprise that you're looking to start. So I from the beginning I'm not sure whether the largest event company in the world, but I am with the vision of probably creating one of the best companies in the world.
Wow.
Right?
Great.
Wow.
So when you have that kind of vision, then where you start. So I started in Delhi, I started in Bangalore at the same time. So one of my partner, my co-founder, again he's from Gorakhpur, UP, right? So understanding of mindsets, understanding of different demographics. So he was handling Delhi, I was handling Bangalore. So I think it's so important that the micro and macro environments, having understanding of where you are going, where the market is going, where the country is going, and which is your opportunity. For me, I think I'm in one of the best industries today, because our GDP's growth is not as fast as growing as how event management is growing today. We are growing at easily. If I add unorganized market, we are growing more than 20% year on year.
Wow.
Nice.
Right, so it's
That's
a
the event
huge.
space.
That's a event space. There's VC money coming in. District again. What is it? It's an event management ticketing tool app today. Right, so they are investing in so many IPs.
Nice.
Book My Show is doing so many IPs. So Coldplay was there, doing the biggest event of their career
Yeah.
in India. So I think it's important that you should have access to macro. You can't today sit in one cabin or just on one laptop imagining that you have built something and there are people ready to buy it.
Yeah.
Great.
It is so important, just to add on to Rahil's part of it. Please understand that Rahil just didn't stop by starting his own company and being comfortable with where he is. He understood that there is a problem because of lockdown, and he wanted to quickly learn what could be my next level of events going to be like, because he knew that this is what he's going to do, and then he quickly pivoted into learning and upgrading his skills by joining I Am Cozy Girl, upskilling yourself. So sometimes we feel that degree कर लिया, MBA कर लिया 10 साल 20 साल पहले, but you have not upskilled yourself.
By the way, I'm doing my law now.
Me too.
Lovely.
To add to that, I am too doing it.
Brilliant. So this is how, number one, learning never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, your will to learn should also never stop. Yeah, it's not necessary that you have a flashy tag and you spend crores of rupees to join probably a namesake university for the sake of putting that on a shadi ka card,
That's
so
that
that
time's gone.
you get better leverage. But idea is, what can you bring on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Rahil, for those insights. Understanding macro, micro are so essential. As an example that you mentioned about a roadside bakery. Yeah, it's so important for you to even understand your own customers. Yeah, and not be just blind saying that मेरे बाप दादाओं के ज़माने का business चल रहा है, हम तो we are like indestructible. So it's like that, right? So this is something that each one of you can learn when it talks about entrepreneurship. Just moving into your area of business, tell us more about Jyote Jyoteli.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is your purpose of pivoting from glamour, politics? You have been an actor, producer, model, if I may say so.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and running a production company, then getting into COVID-based business opportunity that you jumped into it, and now your vision towards Jyote Jyoteli. If you can just throw a little highlight on it so that people, women who are interested to get more insights can reach out to you as well.
Yeah. So I think to start off, you do get a lot of. I was, I think, very humbled by all the opportunities I've got. In terms of be it in the entertainment industry or any other business opportunities. And I realized through being part of every sector and industry that what really suits me. And somewhere along the way, when I first was approached into the glamour, the industry and stuff, and I did have a peek into the industry, I felt like, it is not something that I really resonate with. I wanted something more hands-on, something where I can be part of a movement, part of something, which is not just very individualistic. And that's how I pivoted towards producing and more towards business, more towards team together, coming together of things. But how I eventually came to Jyote Jyoteli is it's a very interesting observation that I've made over the years. And if you look at the Gen Z, the younger crowd, the kids, they don't really have a huge gender bias. They don't feel like तुम लड़की हो, मैं लड़का हूँ. They're like, they want to just be together. They want to do things. They're thinking in a very different dimension. And I think somewhere the older generation, maybe our parents, maybe people in their 60s, late 50s, maybe 70s, they did grow up in a system where it was more about women had set roles, men had set roles. And the system, like I said, is already built in such a format. But when these kids grow up, the Gen Z, right, they're not going to be able to fit into this system. It's not a system they understand. But they will be forced to fit into that system because that's the only system that exists, be it in the private sector. Like, for example, today, in the corporate world, it is mandated in India that there should be one woman in the board of directors. And that woman is usually probably not calling the shots. And that is today's inclusivity.
Wow.
That is today's women empowerment. Like in the beginning, you told that, no, things are actually changing. It feels like that because more women are working as employees in jobs, they're earning a salary. But are women really deciding things? I don't think so. And my understanding came from this area, right? Like the challenges I faced, whether be it politics or anything. And when I wanted to put across those challenges, I never found women in the top leadership. And unless you reach the top leadership who take decisions on how the system should change, like 48% of India is women, right? 52% are men. And you have men on the head of all the companies, private sector, be it the government or be it the corporate.
Yeah.
And when you go with problems to them, they have been part of the system, they've lived that life, and they know how to create solutions because they've lived that. They know that ये करने से अच्छा होगा, इसको बदलते हैं. That's how they do it, right? But for women, where do we take our problems? Because the people on top are not women. And if I do take it to the men, they haven't lived that experience. They don't have the same mind. They don't have the same problems. They have a different world they're part of. And when I don't have a place to take my challenges, the challenges can't be solved. One on the top needs to be very thorough about the problems. Only then can they provide solutions. But those positions are not available for the women. So the issue is that there is an issue of the mindset, but even if the mindset changes over the next younger generations, the system, if it doesn't give a place for these solutions to come through, we're going to end up back in the same cycle. And that's how I realized that this needs a movement. Any change in society, it doesn't happen from the system. It happens because of the people. I always say this, a people's movement drives change, not policies. Policies come next. People have to become and demand it. They have to become aware of this problem and demand it. And although women are going out and working, they think, and it's sad, that they think that the biggest amount of freedom a woman has got is that she can go and earn a salary. But the potential, India or across the world, 50% of the population is untapped for its potential. So if you look at India, 48%. 48%, like let's considering 50% are women, 48% of India, how much of potential is being tapped? Very less. Of course, there are more people out there talking about it. There are more women on the streets before 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. But that's not enough. And I'm not endorsing womenhood or, women should be there. I'm endorsing a better world. I think we do need an amalgamation of both the minds to create a much more resilient world. There's something that we bring to the table that you guys don't, something that you guys bring that we don't. And I think a mixture of that is required for the future. And I think that's the direction we should go, because as human beings, we should develop a better system. So that's how I came up with Jyote Jyoteli, that let's create a place for the empowered women to have their solutions, where they can get their solutions from. And let's create a place where the men and the boys understand how to be with the system, with the empowered women. The whole generation, all these women who became very empowered. Now there's a lot of talk of marriages not working and relationships being difficult, because women were told, girls at home were told कि मैंने जो अपने माँ को करते हुए देखा है मैं नहीं करूँगी. And the mothers told that I don't want you to have a life like I did.
I have.
But the sons were told that तुम राजा बेटा हो. Now you brought up your boys in such a way that they were so pampered, and you brought up your girls in such a way that they were so independent, and now you want them to come together. You created such an imbalance that they find it difficult. The woman is too independent, she can't pamper the guy, and the guy is too pampered that he can't deal with the independent woman. So we did create an imbalance by our own mindsets. So that is a struggle I see. But I think even men, I don't think it's anybody's fault. It was just, I don't know, a mindset that was in trend, that was part of the mainstream. And that's how I think a lot of men are finding it difficult to deal with very strong women. So yeah, that's how the whole concept came. So in Jyote Jyoteli, we have two particular systems. One is where we work on mindset reform, awareness, education, activities to train the younger kids early on, how gender roles and all those things, and train on leadership through activities, sports. And then we have another leadership and a system reform section where we are working on changing these systems, where we are asking them and advocating that open up more spots for us. We do need it. Just open up the spots. We don't need a 2-year training for women how they can be leaders. Women are born leaders. I mean, they internally they've been given the strength to lead.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they protected entire empires when men went to war. I mean, it's a known thing. So let's not create all these jugards and these, you know, facades that, you know, women are not actually capable. उनके लिए एक बड़ा workshop बनाते हैं, उनके लिए बड़ा एक program बनाते हैं, उनके लिए एक NGO खोलते हैं जहाँ पे उनको training करेंगे that they can take up a top role. So to cut all these extra frills, I started this saying, let's go for the movement, let's build the movement. It might take 10-12 years, and I'm not going anywhere. And something that I feel like I should contribute to, because I've been a victim and a beneficiary of this system.
Wow. So this is where, you know, for the audience would be a great support factor. So if you have more such queries, more such understanding about what you want to do out of your life, Nisha Yogeeshwar ji is right here with us. You can definitely, if you are seeing us live, do drop in your questions on the comments chats. Somebody from our team will read it out for us, and we will take your questions in probably in about next 5 to 6 minutes. We're almost 12:30, right? 1.5 hour just went by, and it was such an amazing session that I have personally learned, Nisha ji, from Dr. Kumail Abbas and Rahil Mehdi. The best part in here with all three of us, of course, we have, you know, interacted, met in our community, you know, events and so on and so forth. The beauty is that like Rahil and like Kumail, right? When you say that women, you know, have that innate capabilities of achieving it, we have not just heard it, but we have lived it. Yeah, we have seen that happen in our lives as well. So he's been blessed with, you know, majority right from his childhood, being blessed with women around, mom, sister, cousins, likewise 3 sisters. You know, my wife runs the cloud kitchen, his wife is his co-partner. He's got about 40% of the women who are leading, you know, his networking journey. So, am I right on that?
Leadership, Onfyx leadership, 80% are females.
80% of the women. So
They are
here, you know, we as Indians, we as you know, people who have, you know, born in a culture where we have seen that equal respect to women as well, and we are living by it. Yeah, and we hope that many of us who are watching across network channels, you know, geographical dimensions that we all are into it, we hope that we also set up a benchmark that each one of us have our own point of view. At the same time, we also give equal rights to each one of us. Yeah,
Right.
be it men, women, children, or whoever it is, and not just in the field of education and entrepreneurship, but every walk of life. Every decision that we take in, it has to be mutually understood and respected, and that's how we're going to take in. So just to put in a little last you know, point towards you, Dr. Kumail Abbas, you tell us what is that creating stars that you were also mentioning about. You also run another you know,
Educational company,
Yeah,
yes,
so tell us a little bit more about that, because I'm sure there are some students, there are some interested people who would want to also learn. Yeah,
Perfect.
from your spark, and he being a benchmark today for each one of us, from somebody who had stammering issues, for somebody who was not confident enough to talk in public,
Exactly.
probably not in a position to get that confidence out. And this is not recorded, this is live.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Without
and this is the
script,
first time that you say that you
Yes.
are experiencing a live, you know, and it's not easy, guys. Trust me, my mic fell off couple of times, but it was so important for us to keep our calm.
Yeah.
So important for us to be focused in what we are doing, and the noise around can definitely be distracting. But then yes, you know, hats off to you and congratulations. I'm super proud of what you've achieved so far, right?
Thank you.
So tell us a little more about that aspect before we get into Q&A, so that somebody who's a school kid, somebody who is probably facing similar stuff like what you have faced, could probably take a lesson and come back the way you are.
Perfect. So let me add you creating stars. So I believe every individual is a star.
Wow,
So why don't
wow.
we create? And this all happened when my background, coming to the learning.
The Billion Star Show.
Million Star
This is how
Show, yes.
this is how the podcast is
Exactly,
named
yeah.
after too.
Wow.
So that's where the moment came when I says I come from the educational family background, and I've been with my father. Then I realized learning is so important,
Yeah.
and I'm a life skill train the trainer. And
Life
I've done
skill
lot
trainer
of,
as well?
Yes. I've done a lot of programs towards NLP. I've done a program to emotional well-being. Almost 26 certification programs. What I've done it.
Wow.
So I remember, I went and spoke to my first cousin. This was in 2012 or 13. That we wanted to open a life skill institution, soft skill institution, and along with my friend. So he just advised. I mean, we went and spoke to him. Why don't you connect us few institutions since you are so well connected? So, but the takeaway was very strong there. He asked, "Are you from the similar background? What if your trainers don't support you, or if you are not able to manage, and how do you balance?" It's a big question mark. But I took it as positive. See, usually what happens, people think that, see, advices we take from the society, but says, or they keep on talk, yeah, but nothing happens. So that positive note has built up in such a way that immediately I went to Dr. Ali Khaja, counseled myself. He advised me, Banjara. So a lot of movement started from there. So the Creating Star motto is very simple. When I have seen, the largest scale of transformation in my life, why not others? And learning difficulties have been given more than 5,000 students free of cost. And I can bet you what the services we give, even sometimes NGO also fail. And we have been done to all these tier 2, tier 3 areas.
Wow.
I always believe that, you have to give back. So that's where Creating Stars. And institutions, I am also a part of a lot of institutions as advisory community. And in 2013-14, I was the international brand ambassador for Jinowasi University, which is in Malaysia.
Wow. Wow.
So there I realized like international scopes are there and people are recognizing us. So I have created a concept where institutions are struggling. So I build institutions. If you see, there's one institution called Prestige International School, and it's a 5-star top 1 institution in Bangalore today. So we work with that kind of institutions where we try to give ANPAR, and education is not about the memory, yeah? It's about the knowledge. So why don't we build this? And holistical education is more important.
True.
So we try doing this, and we work on a scratch level of mindsets. Okay, why? And a lot of reasons are there. A lot of people are failing to grow, and education today has become like, they plan, as you said, they go to best in engineering colleges, best medical colleges, just not for learning, it's for the earning.
Earning, yeah.
So
yeah.
why don't we try to shift a proper education system? So 2018 I started, and very soon I'm planning to shift this to a virtual university concept from UK. Probably I can announce proudly in upcoming days.
Wow,
And
brilliant.
that's how this.
Congratulations.
So the combination were very simple when Onfyx also came. Onfyx is also a learning process.
Yeah.
I can add to Rahil about the entrepreneurship. Every individual wants to do something, but the challenge of support system and all. But what I can advise you, every individual who think of doing business, please make your mindset with 100% confident. Don't come and say, let me see, let me try, let me put my partial time, let me work with my some friends or partners. This is all the question marks definitely are going to fail. If you see the strategy report of Indian self-employments, there are more than 15 to 20% population is working on self-employment today. Everyone wants to do. But failures, startup failures, if you see the majority are failures today.
93%.
Exactly. So what makes us to start Onfyx? When I was into this scenarios, and only one person, my friend, 20 years, he supported me without any expectation.
Wow.
This inspiration, I thought, why not I give a back to society? And I want to build a number 1 largest community in the globe. And it is quite possible. So see, we have a very nominal membership what we take, and we try to ensure that everyone is deserved to be a part of it. No barricades, no kind of criterias. If you think of doing business with a scratch mind, we are coming with youth force. Why we want to give a real-time experience from the UG, PG, whatever they're doing. Memory, theory based they are getting it. Where's the practical? If you want to do a business,
Yeah.
Don't listen to, see, you need to listen, you need motivation, no doubt. But in other hand, it's your business, you have to run. No one is there to feed you here. It's your business. If you fail, you're the responsible. If you success, you're only the responsible. Experience, nothing can stop you, but give 100%. No self-doubts or, what do you say, the fear system. I mean, and a lot of people, they says, oh, if I have so much money or investment, I can do this. It's all reasons. Stop giving reasons, create on the results, be on execution. Executions makes you build every moment. Every day is your learning process. So please, more than talks, execute on the ground. Be real, things can change.
Brilliant.
So this is where we are strongly promising all the entrepreneurs that definitely, and I can also put a word to the society that, especially parents, a lot of, I get a lot of youngsters where parents hold them not to go for this journey. But I always say they deserve a chance. Just encourage them. So your small encouragement can change them. One tap. We believe one push can change their life.
True.
And we have done internally 60 crore transactions, and that is only people who came and updated us.
You mentioned 60 crores.
60 crores we have done in-house. And we have a people from Tier 2, Tier 3. I know one lady, she comes with, agriculture background, and she makes this pickle, papad and all. She was surprised, my neighbor was not aware, but it is going to Malaysia. And she has done good business. And she was giving very regularly consignments to Malaysia. Things are working. Why not? Why only people who have been highlighted? We have to give a chance. So we are reaching all these Tier 2, Tier 3 areas. We are trying to build those people coming out. If you see Onfyx, you find all are equal. No, we never come in a, the categories wise and all. We all are one, and it's external family. We say family means it's a family, and we are all bonded. Running a leadership community, a networking community where all are business owners. The intrapersonal is high.
Yeah.
The emotionals are high. So giving them, and that's how it is. If you see the failures, as you said, 90%, why don't we protect them? What are the reasons of failures? There are multiple reasons, but in other hand, it's a silly reasons. So if you are into right place, right guidance, mentoring, no one can stop you. Over to you. Thank you. Anything to add?
No, I mean, I should thank you. We should rather thank each one of you because bringing in insights from real-time experience from all our respective journeys. So if I have to just add 15, collectively we all have about 60 odd years or 35 plus years of experience cumulatively, which could not even be our standard age to live, right? But bringing in the insights and getting all that into a concept of a live podcast or a webinar in less than an hour and a half is definitely not going to do justice to each one of yours profile and your achievements. But this platform is one of its kind in a community, and all thanks to the lovely team sitting out here, Zehra Trust. These guys have been beacons of perseverance. They have taken up challenges. They have taken up negative accusations, negative comments by their stride, but they never stopped doing the right things. Yeah, and somebody sitting in Muscat and designing this posters for us. A big shout out to Zisha Naga. He's not here. He's working somewhere else, and he might as well said, "Boss, Bangalore mein hona yaar, kar lo jo bhi karna hai." But he's there coordinating with all of us, messaging us, reaching out on social media, and creating these posters and videos that you see that have actually brought this event, the very first podcast, to this level. Thank you so much, Zisha Naga. And of course, the reason to start this way back in June, July, I guess, is Rahil's sister, who's a cancer warrior, Amar Fatima. So she called me up and she said that we want to do a session for student counseling and parenting and jobs and so on and so forth. And that's how the discussion started. And Bakar Abbas from Zehra team and Manzoor Bhai from Zehra team said, let's do it. Let's do a webinar. It's as simple as getting a Zoom link. And from Zoom link, 4th, 5th session, we are sitting in a studio and shooting a live podcast. Bakar Abbas Saab and team, Manzoor Abbas Saab and team, big shout out and congratulations to each one of you. for giving us the platform to be the voice for your mission. And Zehra Trust is a very, very small, tiny baby which has already done about 150 plus sponsored education for the poor and the orphans across Bangalore and Karnataka, right?
Nice.
So their vision is to empower students with education, promote good health facilities, and at the same time help people with career orientation. That's the whole purpose of Zehra Trust. And thank you so much, Zehra TV and Babul Hawaj Media, who are also relaying this live. And because of your abilities and your passion, people sitting across the borders are able to see us live and gain the moment of little bit of experience and knowledge that each one of you have shared. I'm sure if any one of you have taken up notes or anything from your heart that you have actually brought in here and trying to implement with the lessons that Rahil, Nisha ji and Kumail Abbas have shown it together, it would be a great, of course, I would take some questions while we are discussing here. Before I could take questions, yeah, do you have anything to close on, Rahil, Nisha ji and Kumail Abbas?
I think there are a few things that I would like to touch upon in terms of, I feel like they're the biggest shortcomings of today's entrepreneurs, or people who generally in working anywhere. I think the first thing I would say is please lose the attitude. I think there's such a bad attitude going around. Like it's not welcoming, and I think it comes from a place of scarcity, insecurity, inferiority, and something that you have gone through which you have not dealt with. And I know mental health and trauma is a big topic of discussion, and rightly so, because I think all of us somewhere or the other have been traumatized by something in our life. But that happens to everybody. It just didn't happen to one person, and I think it's our responsibility to deal with it, face it, and come out of it, because that really shows up in attitudes. And people have such a bitter and unwelcoming attitude, and to run a business or to be a part of any social event or gathering, attitude is everything. To just have a life, to have a good life, it's about how you are as a person. And I think that who you are as a person reflects in your work. And if you're not able to make those changes, the only person losing out is you. The world is going on. So one suggestion I have for everybody is, lose the attitude. And the second thing is, I think, stop fearing scarcity. There's enough for everyone on the planet. If somebody else is doing well in their business, it doesn't mean that you're going to do worse. Even if it's the same product, same service, there's enough to go around. Social media has democratized things to such a high extent that somebody will, like you said, the Japanese
Ikigai.
Right? Ikigai. So it's there. So scarcity makes you a very limited, a very narrow-minded, a very insecure. You start feeling jealous, and it shows, and that really weakens your business. So I would say work on these simpler things, scarcity. And there's this new thing that मैं खुद ही सब कुछ कर लूँगी. मैं खुद ही सब कुछ कर लूँगा, मुझे किसी का ज़रूरत नहीं है. Without a team, without people, you can't do anything.
True, very true.
And in a team, you're not one up. Even if you're a CEO, the CEO has it worse, because you have to go so many levels down every day. You have to resonate with the person at the bottom and the person at every level. So I would say understand that being part of a team or being part of a business doesn't mean that तुम boss हो तो you are at a different level. You are still on the ground. You're probably even lower, because you have to take the stuff from everybody. So I think these things are important to understand, that one, you can't do it alone, and you must not.
Okay.
You must collaborate. So I think one is lose the attitude, have a good attitude, build a good attitude, and don't fear scarcity, and take people along with you. Collaborate. There's a lot. You don't have to compete. Competition is only to improve your skill and better your product and services. It's not to actually, put the other person down. I think these are things I've seen, and I feel like people should, if they could make these fewer changes, it would really make them a better person and really reward them with a better life, better business.
Absolutely, yeah. These are some of the most important points. The example could be, as you rightly said, your attitude is what defines how your success and failure could reap out of it, right? The best example is Dolly Chaiwala, who was so focused about creating the best experience of serving chai, right? No too much of noise, but he just continued persistently, did it for 6 years, And now when Bill Gates come to his shop, and now he's moving around in Rolls Royce and selling chai. He's not left his core business. So his attitude has not changed. कि अब मैं चाय नहीं बेचूंगा. You get my point? So
Yeah.
he's not saying that अभी मैं एक 5-star hotel खोलूंगा. नहीं, he's still selling chai, but that's his core root for his success. So I think that attitude is something that each one of us should also engage in. And Nisha ji, thank you so much. It was, I felt that it was a great lesson. Though I'm a professor, I teach in colleges, I lecture students, but then for me it was a great insights from learning from experienced personalities like you yourself. Any closing notes, Dr. Kumail Abbas?
Nothing much. What I can add you here is, so very soon we are launching an incubation center.
Lovely.
And if people are not aware what exactly it is, so it is something which is a support system for the every individual. It's kind of for example, for how the patients need hospital, sick business people need incubation. So please reach out to us. February 14th, we have 5th year anniversary of Onfyx.
On
Onfyx is-
Valentine's Day, yeah?
Oh, on
That's an
Valentine's
interesting
Day.
part.
Yes. So why? Because we are just born. So not we always says 5 years, but I feel always
It's just the
born.
beginning.
Beginning.
Fantastic.
Still more to do.
You will do the best, and I'm sure in the coming days we're going to have many more events like this. Rahil, Mehdi, your closing note.
See, I think I'll talk as a businessman because that's what I'm currently doing with my best abilities. I heard you talk about the society and the changes, and you spoke about the importance of network. I think if you want to build a successful business, one, you're not building families, you're actually building high performance teams.
Wow.
I mean, the difference between what is happening with some of the amazing cricket teams in the past and what it is with Australia today is because there is a mindset of play to win. So I have not built families at Tessarakt. I have actually built a business which has high performing teams who are running the families. So so that's a big mindset shift that we've been we have avoided a lot of decisions of hiring basis on emotions. Data is always there. There's always common sense.
Yeah.
There's always reason behind why somebody should join us and why somebody should not join us. That's more clear. I think clarity of what you should not do, because life will keep throwing so much at you every single day which you are not responsible for. But I think if you have that inward understanding of what is that game that you are playing, everybody is going through number of things. Everyone is seeing opportunities. Nobody is bigger, like Nisha was talking about. Everybody is equal. Opportunities are plenty for everybody. I think starting a new business today is a lot more cheaper than what it used to be before.
Wow.
Because there's access to investments. Technology has brought down the cost of starting a startup. I can only say this. I think there is one last point that I want to talk about. My business, Tessarakt, all that is great, but today we are building a community called Blend Community, which is probably India's first full stack creative entrepreneurship platform, which is there to support creative entrepreneurs to become successful. Because a lot of people think that creativity and business can't go hand in hand. And what we are building right now is a system, a community, which will ensure that these creative entrepreneurs thrive and go global. Again, a message to the community: if anybody is a creative entrepreneur and if they need any support, whether it is social media, whether it is branding, whether it is strategy, business, a lot we are going to be doing at Pro Bono. And the dream is to build India's next biggest and amazing successful creative entrepreneurs from this community. So that's what my current interest, and I think that will probably remain my lifelong objective. So anybody listening, If there is anything, because you can't really cover everything in 90 minutes or, or 2 hours, but I'll be very happy to support anybody in the community or outside community if they're looking at building a business on their own.
Great.
Thank you.
Right.
Lovely insights too. Thank you so much, respected panel. Thank you is a small word for you guys, right? So before we could end this podcast, there are a couple of questions. I've got some live questions on the internet. I've got 3 phones that I'm trying to balance and see if I could read out. But before I take the questions from the internet, right? We got some amazing audience here. Thank you so much for coming in, for giving us your time. We would also like to thank the support staff, the people behind making this event, so seamless for us. The ground staff, the camera guys behind, the lighting guys behind, the studio. For giving us such a beautiful space. Coming outside your laptop and sitting in a studio feels like you have achieved something. You feel like you have that Nikhil Kamath kind of a vibe. Thank you so much, each one of you, from the bottom of the heart. And before I take the questions online, I've got some wonderful audience that I can see. Do you have any questions for us? Please go ahead, sir. Tell us your name, and wahin se you can just give us a quick intro. And you have a mic or something, or you can just go ahead. Hi, Faizan.
I am into wellness and direct selling with DXN, a global brand which help the products through natural and alkaline-based, I can say, supplements.
Lovely.
I am passionate about helping people to build their lifestyle with wellness and financial freedom through DXN. My question is, like I am into wellness and helping people. People come when they need us. Just they come. कुछ problem रहा तो, so I don't know the limit when to step in and step down, because whenever there come, I'm not saying selfish thing, but I'm not getting how should I say no, or should I be doing as we are into wellness and helping. Is there any criteria or a thing to stop? I want to ask this for the panelists.
Who would you like to put this question across to?
This Kumail sir as into network, and he has seen so many people. And Nisha ma'am and Rahil.
Yeah, probably your quick 2 cents on this would be, because we've
Perfect.
also got about 12 more questions to take. So kindly keep it as crisp as possible.
See, one great opportunity when people reach. It means you deserve it. And anyone trying to add and ask you, so it's a gift where you can add and give back. So if you feel like you are getting loaded, in other hand, see, that's a positive note. In other hand, if you feel like people are making you use and they are using your resources or your time, so it's a good sign. But in other hand, you feel loaded, then the only one word I can say, try acting as a useless so no one can use you. That's how it is. Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Nisha?
I think it's a hard job that is up to, because I think everybody is so different. I mean, how do you know over the phone? What do you how far do you go? How much do you push? But I think it's fair to give it a few shots before you decide if you should go further, because people are busy. They do take time to respond, and it's not a time where people don't have time for wellness. I think it takes a little bit of mind reading is not a possible thing, So I think it is a difficult spot as it is. It requires a little more just sort of gauging the environment as and when you're dealing with a specific person.
Yeah.
I don't really have a particular solution. It's a hard space that he's in.
Okay, how about you, Rahil?
I would say wellness is a very community-driven business where you need bunch of people. So the network effect of bringing more people to come together and indulge in any of these wellness activities is what I would say. Though I'd love to have a one-on-one session later where I'd like to understand more about your business and maybe then suggest you a few things that you can do, especially with my expertise in events and branding. So maybe I should be able to. But I think we should connect after the show.
See, you got the expert.
Opportunity has come now.
Opportunity has come in, as simple as that. So for any business, as Nisha madam said, that online is your best marketing tool. The more you talk about what you're doing and how it is going to benefit people, right? People sitting in villages are earning crores of rupees without getting the access of even water and electricity nahi hai, but because I recently read an article that there is a gaon in India who makes a video but goes at least about 10 kilometers, climbs up a tree just to get the signal so that वो upload का button दबाए. You get my point? So this is how challenging it is, but it is fun. But having said that, your industry and your stuff, build a community. From that community, build a network. From that network, do not, if you stop telling about what you keep doing, people will forget you, like he rightly said. You get my point? I keep talking about, my business on my social media, wherever it is, because if people don't hear you, they will lose you. Memory is too short. Itna hi hai. So keep talking about it, keep talking about the wellness activities, the events that you keep doing, and how your product is going to benefit people. As simple as that, and all the very best to you. Any other questions from the audience? Yes, hi. Aye, Samya, what's your name?
So my name is Adnan. I'm pursuing MBA in Finance and International. Okay, so good afternoon everyone.
Hi.
So my name is Adnan. I'm pursuing MBA from Christ University in Finance and International Business. So I have a very generic question, which is very primarily in terms of entrepreneurship. As you all are experienced entrepreneurs, so what would be the crucial advice which you all will be giving to the upcoming generation of entrepreneurs? That's my question.
Whom is this question for?
To everyone.
To everyone. I think if one person can answer this on behalf of everybody for the sake of time, would be a great gesture. Any one of you would like to take it?
I'll go for it. So, if you want to become an entrepreneur, I think the best thing for you to do, since you're still studying, decide what you want to do, because the world is too big. And then second, there is a self-reflection about entrepreneurship today. It's not an easy thing. So it'll be nice for you to work with somebody very closely. There are a lot of jobs these days at founder's office. I'm not talking about the basic intern jobs, but there are a lot of founders who look for interns and freshers in their office who mimic what they do the full day. So that closer view could help you take a call whether you want to be in that or not. Because only when you do good, maybe you get called in podcasts like this. But when you don't do well and when you're a failed entrepreneur, there is no system today which is hiring failed entrepreneurs. Maybe in the West they do. That, they feel that, when you hire somebody who's failed in a startup, maybe they bring more data points and more insights. But in your case, just figure out where you can get an opportunity to work with a small starting, team where you get to work like an entrepreneur. That's the best thing, because there is no fixed answer. And trust me, if somebody is telling you this is the right thing to do, they are lying. Nobody knows more than what you can figure out for your own self.
See, quickly to add on this, passion with your skills. If you want to do it and do 100%. Give your 100%. That's how it is. Explore.
Brilliant. I think it's a good insights and key points. Very, very valid. Anybody else? Last question from the audience. Ma'am, hi. Please come in.
Thank you. I'm Devyani Jadhav.
One second, ma'am. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Devyani Jadhav. I've been listening to your podcast.
Thank you so much.
Empowering, yeah. I'm into the field of energy healing. I do pranic healing. So my question here is, since it is a business or a new entrepreneurship or whatever, a lot of stress involved, how do you handle that stress?
I think Rahil would be apt for it, because he said that his business is one of the top 3 stressful businesses that he's going
A
into.
lot of stress is involved. So that's
Yeah.
what I want to say. In pranic healing, we have protocols for stress. So I just want to know how we can bring that into the entrepreneurship journey.
It is a very stressful space, regardless of whichever industry you are as an entrepreneur. I think you first need to, you are an expert already, ma'am, so I don't know how much to really talk about what should be done. But the way I manage my stress, I have understood what my body is capable of, and I have also understood what my mind is capable of. And I have a bunch of coaches and mentors who help me in both. So I've been into yoga for a very long time. Then now I'm into weightlifting, on and off. Then I have a psychiatrist always on call. I have no shame to accept that I take SOS medicines whenever I need to. Then I have huge issues with pollen in Bangalore. Then I figured out that that can add to a lot of stress. So I think it is about being very clear that you are not the expert. You can't just go to Google and see what needs to be done, or even listen to your own parents if they are not doctors. So I handle it just like I call my therapy sessions as my mental gyms, and then I know what are my reservations with in terms of my physical health. I have cancer at home. Then my mom had diabetes before she passed away. So I kind of been balancing both my physical and mental restrictions, I would say, as a person. And I'm enjoying the process. I get to learn a lot. I mean, even including energy healing.
So stress is the root cause of most of all the ailments. So
Yeah.
that is the root cause. That is where it starts building on. And the person goes beyond their capacity to understand the situation, and in that space they take wrong decisions. So if they are relaxed, and if we can have stress management protocol for the employees and the staff on regular basis, I'm sure they'll be less stressed and they'll have lot of positive impact to give to the business.
Absolutely, ma'am. Less stress, more productivity.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining in, ma'am. Really happy to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, a last question from the audience, if I might want to take before I could move into the stuff. Cool. And I've got amazing questions from the internet. Sabir Mirza says, to start a business or to be an entrepreneur, there is always a fear of failing, okay, and lose money, which will put back financially and emotionally. Will put us back financially and emotionally. How do you come over it? I think we covered this, in
the
our
topic,
discussion,
yes.
Sabir bhai. Just to ensure that we are not stressing more on this topic. Quick part of it. Would you like to?
I think that's a given in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You know that if it's going to fail, that you're going to be put behind.
Yes.
So I think you have to take that as part of the plan.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, then this is going to happen, and But at the same time, you don't have to really bog. We have this habit of the damage is only so much, but the collateral damage is so much. That's not required. It's a very mental space. So yes, it is important to calculate for the failure, calculate for the burden that will be more.
True.
If you fail at something. But that's just the very fabric of entrepreneurship. It's if you're getting into entrepreneurship, you have to stay at it. You have to bootstrap. You have to scramble for money. You have to put in your mind, heart, soul. Like hold people's feet. It's just how it is. You just have it's you have to understand that that's the fabric of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I think the understanding and acceptance allows for you to rope these factors in.
Yes. So I would like to add on to this part of it here for the sake of people listening and Mr. Shabir Mirza. There is a thin line being stupid and being risk averse, right?
Yeah.
When you know that your household income is secured, when you know that you need 30, 40,000, 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, and that income is secured, then you take the next step. Then you slowly build brick by brick. Entrepreneurship is not about building a multi-billion-dollar business overnight.
True.
He's taken 10 years, you have taken 15 years, you've been striving hard to make this thing happen over the experience of 15, 16 years. And we still feel that we are nobody. You get my point?
Exactly.
I don't have a multi-billion-dollar business. Just want to
We
let
hope
everyone
that you
know
have one.
that, that's not why I'm sitting here.
we hope that you have one. The idea here is that you please be very, very calculative in
Risk intake.
your capacity of risk has to be very, very calculative, right? You don't quit your job just because your bosses are not good to you, and you don't start off a business by investing about 25, 30 lakh rupees or whatever savings and then say that let's do entrepreneurship, success mil jayega. Nah, it's stupidity, it's crazy. Don't do that. I've seen a lot of people burning money and being roadcast stuff, right?
Yeah.
So don't let that thing happen to you. Be calculative. Get 1 month stuff. Try that for a month. See if you're able to get that income in, right? Dhanda is all about you put 10 rupees, you get 12 rupees back. It's as simple as that, right? So don't go into this valuation gig of what Zomato, Swiggy, and other online businesses are doing in. They have money. They're still into Flipkart is still into losses. You get my point? Speak easy to losses.
I
but
think that another important point, I just want to interrupt you and add in here, is that I think you should keep a good few years before you see results.
Yeah.
Don't go in saying, there is nothing called get rich quick. 2 years later, I'm going to be in Europe. I keep telling this, people have this dream, I'm going to be in an open top car and I'm driving through the roads of Europe and I have a beautiful person sitting next to me. It doesn't happen. That's not what entrepreneurship
There's
is.
no fast track to growth.
no fast track. There's no
But
fast track to
again,
success.
the higher investment, probably investment you require when you want to expand your business. But to kickstart, it's
Yeah.
basic investment, not much.
Yeah.
So go slow, buddy. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Next question I would like to say, Tirtham Ray has sent us a message saying that building a business leveraging community or building a community leveraging business, which is more important?
Sorry, can you go again? Building?
Building a business,
Correct?
leveraging community, or building a community leveraging business.
Build the community.
Build the community first.
The trust comes.
Your take, Nisha?
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I think I think they are like the chicken and the egg. It depends on what you're building. If it is a requirement of a community, then the community comes first.
True.
See, if
And
he
if it
build,
is-
no one can stop him.
Absolutely.
Let him, he has to.
How about you, Rahil?
Yeah, I think I agree with my fellow panelist. I think you need both.
Yeah.
Communities, unless there is somebody funding it for you to build the community, then you are focusing on building the community. And if somebody is funding you to build a business, and then you build the business, then you realize that for any business you need a community. So I think it can happen both ways.
Yeah.
Right now in my journey, started with building a business, and now we are building a community.
Right.
And then from the community, we are hoping to build businesses.
Right.
So it's always going to be,
Yeah.
like you said.
That's what's it.
I
chicken
think
and egg
it
situation.
goes hand in hand. Once again, we've got about set of 6 more questions. Do we have time, guys? Should we take it or should we? Thank you so much. 105. We've already crossed the time, so I would request you guys to 1 or 2 questions. Okay, I'll choose the best question for the sake of running this across very very quickly. So, ma'am, this question is for you. What keeps you going through tough days and when things don't go as planned?
I don't know, when I wake up the next day morning, I'm like, there's no way I'm going back. It's just, I think it is a very inherent quality that you've taken up something and you want to see it completed. It's a very, how do you say it? It's a very inbuilt system. But genuinely, when I look back, if I look at all the things I've done, what keeps me going is that the kind of difficulties you go through, you just don't want that to be your story. You want that to not happen to others. You want to create something that maybe reduces that for the others. So I feel like everything that I am doing, it is a solution to the solutions that I didn't get. So that's how I came into social reform.
Cool. So, nice answer. I hope whoever is asked this question has got the right answer, and I really like the way you have put across. One more last question. How do you balance traditional values with modern progress in your work and decisions?
Is that for me?
I mean, it's an open question. If anybody would like to take in.
Yeah.
So I think tradition gives you some kind of a data for you, right? I mean, this is how it has been traditionally, and then modern values is today, right? So I think it's a combination of both, where you need to really understand who you are traditionally. I mean, just take Muslims across the world. They are very different in different countries because there are the different traditions that you follow. Being an Indian Muslim, I think I am exposed to completely different set of things. And then I think again going back to the the community reference, you always have a template, what is right, what is wrong, because there are laws of land, then there are community norms that you follow, and there are certain values that you build inherently within yourself, who you are. Are you socialist in your mind? Are you a communist in your mind? Or are you a capitalist in your mind? So, and if you can be all the three in different combinations. So I think it is about you taking a call that how much of capitalist in you should be applied on what you are doing, and how much of a socialist you are in your goals, whatever you are taking up. So I think it's there's no harm in being proud of what your tradition really stands for. Today, if you see, then the best film of the country today was Kantara Chapter 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely coming from a folk world of Mangalore, right? I mean, so it's absolutely okay. You can be modern, you can still have very, very rooted traditions with you. Rather, we should, that should be our strength,
Yeah.
and take India to the world. Yeah, why not?
I
Absolutely.
agree with him. I mean, I think that, we are an intelligent crowd. I think you should take best of both the worlds. Use tradition to ground yourself, and use what the modern world is giving you to uplift yourself. So I think both have very good things to give you. But I think you should be smart enough to pick the best out of both. But I see that we're probably making the choices the other way around. We pick the worst. We pick the compulsion of rituals, the compulsion or the archaic thought process of the traditions, and we pick the frivolousness of the modern world. I think it has to be the other way around. We should pick the grounding that tradition gives us, and the better the reforms that have happened in the modern era, the technology, the open-mindedness, all kinds of things. I think pick those up. But I would say don't get too carried away, because it's an open world. It's your life. You got to figure out what is best for you. You can't just like chal raha hai hawa to us disha mein main chali jaungi. So I think it needs a little bit of maturity and sensibility, and always know that it's for you. It's not for anybody else. So I think we're intelligent enough. We just don't want to do it, and eventually we will get there. When the pain becomes too much, you will figure out a way to mix the best of both.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. So these are the questions that have been answered brilliantly by our expert, guest for the day. Thank you so much, each one of you. Kumail Abbas Saab,
Thank
it was brilliant to talk to you in such a great length for the first time, I guess. Talking about business, talking about your life, and you have been a great role model. And I'm sure after listening to you personally, I'm a great fan of your achievements, and people who are looking and watching us live will definitely be inspired by your journey, and thank you so much for coming in. We've got a small memento or a bouquet from the Zehra Trust. We request Haider Bhai to kindly acknowledge Dr. Kumail Abbas for his achievement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Haider Bhai. Nisha ji, what can I say? You've been the light amongst the dim guys that we guys are here.
That's not true.
Thank you so much for bringing in your insights, your knowledge, your experience. It never looked like I'm talking to you for the very first time today. Yeah. So only one call yesterday. We did a quick mock-up on what we're going to talk, and really feels good that you have spoken your heart out, and bringing us the insights of how women can look up to you as a role model. And thank you so much for being here today. I'd like to request Bakar Abbas Bhai, who's a champion of Zehra Trust. Thank you so much, Bhai, for coming in here. And he's the man behind the scenes. Yeah, even if we had 10 heads and about 20 hands would not be justifying of what work he's done for the community. He's an entrepreneur. He's a social worker. He's been a member of AAP. He's been the face of our community's WhatsApp channel. Bakar Bhai, kudos to you. This would not have been possible. The billion star, if there are billion stars on one side and one star has to be on the other side, it is going to be Bakar Abbas. Yeah, thank you so much. You deserve, one bouquet for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for coming in. We don't have Manzoor Bhai, he's held up today, but he and Bakar Abbas are the stalwarts for creating this setup for us and for reaching out to a larger audience, right?
I must acknowledge the efforts everyone's put in, and I must say that you have been a very energetic host. It's lovely to talk to you.
Thank you.
And I must acknowledge that I think I don't know how much I've given away today, but I've learned a lot from both Mr. Kumail and Rahil, and it's a great platform, not just to share, but there's so much to learn from very deep insights. So
Yes.
I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again. Yes, they deserve a round of applause. And now we've got, Rahil bhai, thank you so much for making this time. I know weekends for the events business guys, our Mondays are their Sundays, as simple as that. And taking your time out, you're coming all the way from other part of the world, right? From a very far off place.
Hennur.
Hennur se aa rahe hain, and this is just the opposite direction. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Your journey has been inspiration. I've personally seen you grow, and I'm super proud of you. And I'm sure people who have heard you today, you're calm, composed, very, very, it doesn't look like you handle a business which is so stressful. And that's probably the effect of his mom's blessing, your efforts, and the people who have stood by you. The result is showing, and we are super, super proud of who you are today. And thank you so much. We request Batabai to give you a bouquet and stuff. Right? And thank you once again, each one of you, for coming in here. And there is a bouquet for me too. So thank you so much, Kumail Kirmani Saab. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, you've been a nice host. Thank you so much.
No, I should say this. I think the way you're able to manage and curate the entire conversation, because it's not easy for someone to listen to us for more than 2 hours.
Yes.
And in spite of probably what we connected once yesterday, and making it so seamless, because generally live, I come from a event industry, so I know live anything can go wrong.
Except for the mic,
yeah,
it was perfect.
So recording can also, you have the option of editing things, but in a live situation, managing this entire piece, I could have done a little bit more to the entire setup, but I didn't want to be very honest, because today I wanted to just come as a guest, not as an event manager. But looking at the way you have done the setup, I think you may start getting calls from Tessarakt for shooting some stuff. Yeah.
So that's a good business side up, boss.
Thank you so much.
Work behind the team, guys. I wish the cameras could actually.
Thanks to
Raza bhai, Zishan bhai,
Each one of you,
Mansoor bhai.
your names have to be on the board under the billion stars. You guys are the luminaries for making this live session. As Rahil mentioned, live is not easy, boss. I mean, a podcast जो है 2-3 घंटे का जो आप YouTube पे देखते हो, they have about hundreds of people sitting, editing, cutting, what to talk, what not to talk. ये live गया है and there's no edit. And thank you once again. I hope you guys have learned something, and you guys have shown your love through likes and comments. And do follow each one of us on social media. Reach out to us, not just follow, reach out to us if there's anything meaningful that we can add to your life. And once again, thank you so much. And may you have a beautiful Sunday and the fantastic week and year to come forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Each
much.
one of
guys.
Thank you.
Namaskar, Bengaluru. Assalamu alaikum.
Namaste.
That's it. We're closed today.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah.
Done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again.
Nice to get to know about you.
My God.